Imagine a community cut off by conflict, desperately needing food, water, and medical supplies. How do these vital provisions reach them? Who decides if aid workers can even get through? This is a question with profound human consequences, and fortunately, international law provides clear answers to ensure help can reach those most in need. The rules governing humanitarian access in conflict zones are primarily found within international humanitarian law, or IHL at its core. IHL obliges all parties to an armed conflict to allow and facilitate the rapid and unimpeded passage of humanitarian relief for civilians. This means states and armed groups must not only permit aid to enter but also actively help it get to affected populations, provided the aid is impartial and humanitarian in nature. The fundamental why behind these rules is simple: to alleviate human suffering during armed conflict. International humanitarian law, particularly the Fourth Geneva Convention and its additional protocols, recognizes that even in war, basic human dignity must be respected. Civilians, especially those deprived of essential goods for survival like food, water, medicines, and shelter, have a right to receive assistance. Therefore, parties to a conflict have a corresponding duty to grant access for humanitarian relief operations. This duty is not merely a courtesy, but a binding legal obligation designed to save lives and protect fundamental rights when governmental authorities cannot or will not do so for their own population. In practice, gaining humanitarian access often involves extensive negotiations between humanitarian organizations and all parties to a conflict. These organizations, such as the International Committee of the Red Cross, or ICRC, must seek the consent of the states or non-state armed groups controlling the territory. While consent is generally required, it cannot be withheld arbitrarily when civilians are facing starvation or severe deprivation. The relief operations must be exclusively humanitarian and impartial, meaning aid is distributed based on need alone, without discrimination regarding nationality, race, religion, or political opinion. A crucial concept here is the humanitarian imperative, which underscores the moral and legal duty to respond to human suffering wherever it occurs. This imperative is woven into the fabric of IHL, ensuring that the needs of victims are paramount. Another key aspect is the protection of humanitarian personnel and objects. Parties to a conflict must respect and protect relief personnel and their assets, recognizing their vital life-saving mission. Any deliberate targeting of aid workers or relief supplies constitutes a serious violation of international law. Ultimately, the rules on humanitarian access are a cornerstone of international humanitarian law. They provide a vital legal lifeline, ensuring that even amidst the devastation of war, a pathway exists for assistance to reach vulnerable populations. By upholding these principles, we reinforce the shared understanding that humanity must prevail, and that suffering can and should be alleviated, no matter the circumstances.